Then I would cry.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Welcome to The Truth with B. Tatum. Hey, I just wanted to address a few issues real quick because I have had continuous debates with people over this, the school shooting, this whole drama that's going along with this. Now, I just want to say this real quick. People are arguing that our founding fathers never intended for the Second Amendment to encompass the firearms and weapons that we have today. Like, for instance, when they were thinking about establishing the Second Amendment, they weren't thinking about rifles and high capacity weapons. Let me tell you something real quick. I think that the problem is that people don't understand history, right? You have to understand history before you can ever proceed properly into the future. So, for example, the reason why we have the Second Amendment is because we are a free nation. We are a nation of individuals who are controlling our destiny. The way that this is supposed to work is that we obviously have individual states, and then these United States make up our country, okay? The federal government is not supposed to usurp authority over the people. We vote for the president. We vote for our congressmen. We vote for people in political power. They are not appointed on their own. It's the people who vote them in. Now, at any form and fashion, these people become rogue and they decide that they're going to trump the Constitution and enslave us or do whatever they want to do with us. We have the right to bear arms to defend ourselves. This is the point that people are missing. We are supposed to be able to resist some type of a government tyranny. We are able to resist even rogue other people. If I have a property and I have boundaries on my property, people cannot just come and invade my property. I have a right as a citizen to defend my property. That's why I have firearms, because if a person comes to take over my property with a firearm, I can defend myself with the firearm. We do not want the government to be the only source of firearms for us. Because when they go crazy, what do we do as a people? We can become enslaved again. I don't understand why people can't get that through their heads. We can actually be enslaved again if our government goes rogue. Now, if we have adequate defense, we have adequate firearms, then we can actually fight off any kind of rogue government that decides to take place. And it's not just us fighting off like one household. As a people, ladies and gentlemen, that means me and another couple hundred other people I know who have firearms. If the government decides to try to enslave the people, we will stand up against the government. Do you understand that? I think people aren't really getting that. We have voted for and employed government to assist us in expressing our rights. assist us in observing and preserving some of these rights that we have in the amendment and Constitution. They are to assist. They are not to hold the bag. We have control as a people. But what's happening is that a lot of people are forgetting that. You're getting so caught up in mainstream media and the hustle and bustle of this world. We obviously getting taxed to death. We're getting so caught up that we forget that we are actually a free nation. And people are confusing that when it comes to firearms. The government, and I'm not going to vote for that. I'm going to make sure that there's no legislation through voting that's going to take high capacity weapons. What are you thinking? The government cannot save you. The government cannot adequately protect you. If you're watching this today and you're sitting in your living room, somebody kicking your door with a firearm, they can have a handgun. If you don't have a gun, you're screwed. They can kick in your door, rape your children, tie you up, bound you. By the time, if you can even get to the phone, by the time you call 911 and the time that it take them to show up at your house, you dead already. Your family's dead. Your kids are raped. You're done. The police are going to come to clean up the mess. They're not sitting out in front of your house. The men and women who serve and protect are hired to assist in upholding the law, assist in making sure that you have your rights and be able to observe your rights. The thing that people have a problem with when it comes to government is they feel that the government is superseding or impeding on their rights. They are here to assist, not to have full control. And I honestly believe that we need to understand these things. You are giving too much power to the government when you tell them, oh, okay, decide what type of guns we have. Well, if you take away the citizens' high-powered weapons and magazines, then you need to take away the police officers' high-powered rifles and magazines. You need to take away federal agents' high-powered rifles and magazines. The only people that should have them should be the government. That makes no sense. Because you can go and you can take everybody's firearms that you can find, and you're going to have 100,000 people that got guns that they will not surrender. Y'all got to be crazy. Take my firearm. Come in my house, take my firearm, which I'm not going to let you do. You cannot do that. It's against my Second Amendment right. You're gonna struggle doing that. So if you were to be successful in taking my guns and ammo from my house, there are people, ladies and gentlemen, in the United States of America that they have hundreds of guns, thousands of rounds of ammo buried somewhere that the government will never find. And when you start taking the willing, you start taking the willing and the vulnerable, you start taking their firearms, you got stolen firearms that's not accounted for. You got firearms in the hands of criminals that are not accounted for. You got firearms in the hands of constitutionalists, people who abide by the Second Amendment, and they are 100% having their guns. The government will never find them. And then you have illegal guns that are coming over into this country from other countries. Now, what do you think is going to happen if the government take all the guns? That's like when government tried to control alcohol consumption. What happened? There was a black market for alcohol. They still running alcohol even when it was illegal. Oh, take all the marijuana. People gonna still sell weed and still smoke weed. Marijuana is illegal. You know, when we bust you for marijuana as police officers, we take your weed and we put it in our crime lab. We take your cocaine, we take your meth, and we put it in our crime lab. For whatever use we want to make of it, or we destroy it. But weed is still out there. Crack is still out there. Meth is still out there. People are still manufacturing these things. I don't understand what people perceive is going to happen with gun control. Any smart government, any person who have any common sense when it comes to law, amendments, our rights, if all you're doing is creating legislation to mitigate certain things voted upon by the people. You got to listen. If you think that it's reasonable to allow people to have rifles but small capacity magazines, like you really need to don't ever vote. Just go sit in your house and look at, I don't know, the Kardashians all day. You have no idea what you're talking about. If I had my rifle has 30, the one mag that I have can hold up to 32 rounds. And then I have one that's 28. Well, I put 28 in it, 30 rounds. I put 28 in it. So, okay, cut it down to 10 rounds. If I got 5 mags, that's 50 rounds. It don't take me nothing to drop the mag and to load it back in like this. That probably takes me a second or two. I can drop 10, drop the mag, put the mag in. Drop the mag, put the mag in. All I got to do is practice, and I can do it under a minute. People reload mags under a minute. I mean, not under a minute, under a few seconds. If you're taking a minute to reload a mag, you probably shouldn't have a rifle. But anyway, I meant a second. People are doing this in a second. 2 seconds, reload mags. If you practice well enough, you could probably do it in about a second. It take you 1 second to reload that 10-round mag. So the point of people saying, oh, we need low capacity. Listen, a handgun can be just as bad. I've seen people rig fully automatic handguns with extended clips. You can manufacture an extended clip if you want to. If you're smart enough and you know how to put the gun together, you could probably make you a magazine. People are just ridiculous, man. And then some people say, well, you can't kill that many people with a knife. Okay. Well, what if this young crazy kid had 3 other kids, or it was 3 of them total, 2 other kids with him, 3 kids total with knives, and they decided to plant bombs, pull a fire alarm, and go and stab as many kids as they can. 3 kids can probably kill 17. In this day and age, you're probably rarely going to get 3 kids that can have a gun, especially if they under 18. Not if they steal the guns. But when you look at these mass killings and mass shootings, listen, where's the projection of these things? It's going to get worse. Like, if we don't address mentally ill people and we just say, let's take the guns, and we're not addressing mental illness. Listen, some people say, well, you can do both at the same time. The bottom line is that you're not just, when you are restricting firearms, you're not just restricting firearms for mentally ill people. You're restricting firearms for normal everyday citizens. When you are addressing mental health, you are actually helping the people that need mental help. That has nothing to do with me. I'm mentally fine. I don't need to go down and get mental health treatment. Somebody who's mentally ill needs to go get treatment. My guns are doing just fine. Just fine. I don't need my guns restricted. I got 4 or 5 magazines. I got thousands of rounds. I can do what I want to do. I'm not going to go and shoot up a school or shoot nobody I shouldn't. And the bottom line is that even if I did, I'm one person. There's hundreds of thousands of people who have firearms. There are millions of firearms that are out here, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to be able to confiscate it. This is the thing. You are just as much capable. Our government is just as much capable of confiscating firearms as we are deporting illegals. It's too many illegals that we're not going to even be able to find all of them. Then we're going to spend billions of dollars trying to deport illegals. Same thing with guns. You're not going to be able to get all these guns. But we'll leave that for another time, another message. So what I want to do right now, because I want to get y'all reactions. I know the emotions are going. People are excited. Some people are sad. Some people are frustrated. Some people don't even want to talk about this anymore. So what I want to do is open it up for rapid questions. And we set it up to where hopefully we got the screen a little bigger so I can see more of your questions and I can try to answer it. So if you're prepared right now, we're going to go into rapid questions. So while we're waiting to get that set up, check out this hat. Come and take it. I dare you to come and take it. I dare you. I tell you what, through legislation, you ain't getting nothing. And if we as a people have to resist, that's what our Second Amendment is for. So we got the questions. We're gonna y'all get it ready. Go ahead and get your questions going. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Let's see if we can get it. I think I'm tracking it. Okay, somebody said, what defines mental illness? PTSD, and that many veterans suffer from, and anxiety, should they deny their First Amendment right? Okay, this is the part about mental illness. If a person is a danger to himself or themselves or others, that's when you consider them to be mentally ill and unstable to carry a firearm. I think that's legitimate, right? Even if you're a veteran, we love our veterans. But if you are to the point where PTSD is overtaking you and you're becoming a danger to yourself and others, then your firearms have to be taken from you. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. And it's unfortunate, but I'm sure that any veteran with integrity that's alive today, I'm guaranteeing it's going too fast. I'm guaranteeing you the other one is not doing that.
Yeah, no, the other one's just YouTube. I can't do anything about it.
Oh, okay. So I'm guaranteeing you that a person who's in the military, who's a veteran, will be like, if that you have spent a large portion of your life fighting for the freedom and fighting for people in this country to stay alive. If you are not capable of your own mental health to the point where you are carrying a firearm and you could become a danger to the public, any veteran want to say, okay, I'm gonna relinquish my firearms because I'm mentally ill. And I honestly believe that if that person needs to be protected, then other people can surround them and protect them and help them. But I'm telling you right now, if I go crazy and my mind ain't right, take my stuff, take my guns. I'll have some of my friends come and protect me if I feel I need to be protected, but take my stuff. I don't want to end up snapping and shooting somebody, killing somebody, or killing myself. Take my firearms. That's what I would say. Anyway, let's see. It's way too many questions. Let's see. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. It's a perfect example. People kill people with cars probably way more than gun violence. People running over people every day, getting drunk, driving, and killing families. Are you going to stop Mitsubishi from selling cars? No. Let's see. Should not be infringed upon. Somebody said that. Listen. This is the way it works. Okay, you live in America. We have to have some level of laws. If you are a lunatic, then you're going to have to. We have voted for this. This is not just somebody making this up. We voted to have restricted laws against certain things like domestic violence, convicted felons, and people who suffer from mental illness. Let's go on. Can I block B Coop? Just don't pay attention to him. That's like saying, can I block haters? I understand where you're coming from, but I don't pay attention to no haters. I don't that guy may say whatever he want, but just go on to the next comment. We don't need gun-free zones. I agree. We do not need gun-free zones. Gun-free zones are kill zones. What does gun-free zone mean? If there was a magnetic barrier or something like that around say gun-free zone, that mean if you enter with a gun, you fall dead or something, then I could say, yes, let's have a gun-free zone. But gun-free zone mean nothing. Somebody walk right through the gun-free zone with a gun and start killing people, obviously. Okay, let's see. So if you're just now joining, we having rapid fire questioning. So just ask the questions. I know you some of you guys want to make statements. Just ask the questions. Let's see. Let's see. Do I think Sandy Hook was a hoax? I don't think Sandy Hook was a hoax. Let's see. Criminals don't follow the law. That is exactly true. Do I think it should be a longer wait period to purchase a gun? No, I don't think so. I think that, I went and bought a gun and I bought it like this. I'm a normal person. Thank you. I don't want to wait. A month to get me an AR-15. I shouldn't have to. I'm a normal person. If I had mental illness, I'm not even they won't even sell me the gun anyway. If I have a mental illness and I've been deemed by the court to be a danger to myself or others, they won't even sell me a gun. If I'm a convicted felon, I can't be sold a firearm. So we already have laws in place. Laws don't need to restrict me from going to get an AR-15. If I want to get 2 and 3 and 4 of them, I should be able to go right in the store and get them. I already passed the background. Let's see. Somebody said school shootings should be death penalty. Hey, we could if we can give the death penalty to people that shoot up schools, that's fine. It's not going to stop people from shooting up schools. You're just going to kill the person who did it. It's not going to stop anybody from doing it. It's already research that's shown like time in jail, prison time, death penalty really don't deter people from committing crimes. I do not think the school should be a gun-free zone. I think that teachers should be able to carry concealed if they want to. The principals should be able to carry concealed if they want to. And we should have armed people there. Hey, how about you employ military personnel, retired military to go in there and protect the school? I'm sure some of them will voluntarily go and walk around the school. I think veterans with guns protecting our schools wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't think it'd be a bad idea. Maybe some veterans will volunteer to go and protect the schools. Now, you know, like, I'm not talking about veterans who have PTSD. I mean, you must be out of your mind to think that a person with PTSD should go and protect the school. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm speaking of veterans, and not every veteran have PTSD. Come on. So veterans who, I think that'd be a good opportunity for veterans to find worth, to find, you know, another opportunity to serve. Sometimes veterans get out of the service and they don't know where to go. You know, you've been a serviceman all your life. You've been serving and protecting people. You've been going to war zones. You get out and you're like, I don't know where I fit in. I think that may be cool to have veterans walking around the school and protecting the students. I think you should pay them. But some of them probably will voluntarily walk around. There's a veteran patrol in Tucson where you got volunteer people who was veterans. They patrol the park. And people get out of line. They conduct citizens arrests. And they call the police. And then somebody's acting a fool. They'll draw their gun on them legally. So they do it for free. It's all voluntary. Do I think that some events are being staged in order to invoke martial law? I really don't. I mean, I just don't think so. I think that people will use events that occur to try to invoke something, but I don't think people will stage this. This kid was crazy. This stuff would, this is one thing I think you guys don't realize. Like, this happens all the time. The only difference is that people thwart these situations because individuals tell on them, or you catch a kid with the gun in the locker, you catch a kid with explosive material. The kid is intercepted before they can do stuff like this. Kids do this all the time. Just so happened people dropped the ball with this kid. See, keep asking your questions. This is rapid fire session. Ask your question. I'll try to do my best to answer them. Let's see. So that one was just YouTube, huh?
Yeah, the other one was just YouTube.
Dang, that thing was going at a good speed.
It's like really easy. One thing that you guys aren't doing that you did yesterday, oh my gosh, is you guys have been doing in the past is use emojis. Like, preface your question with emojis so it pops out to us. So if you're asking a question, we want to see emojis.
Somebody said, who sings your intro?
Oh, the intro song?
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to go to soundcloud.com/DJ Quads. DJ Quads is the name of the guy. We just get music from him. He lets us use it for free.
Yeah. Somebody said, do I think the school knew a lot more about the shooter than, I think it said the shooter, now that this moving up screen. I honestly think that everybody knew this kid was crazy, but nobody wanted there's a video that's going viral. It's got 14 million, 15 million views at this point. A guy pretty much addressed the same thing. People are just afraid to say something. How dare you talk about another kid? How dare you judge somebody? And I think that some students knew the boy was crazy, and they were probably a little afraid to say something. Obviously, the people who are raising this kid, I don't know what they doing, but they dropped the ball. If kids at school know he crazy, you know the people at the house know he crazy. And people talking about that the FBI was notified. Yeah, I mean, of course, the FBI is notified by hundreds of thousands of domestic terrorist threats every day. I mean, every year, hundreds of thousands. Like, they have so much. But I do think that they may have dropped the ball on this one, because I don't know. I really don't know, man. I have to see what they actually did to eliminate this situation. Maybe I don't know. I was gonna say maybe they took his firearms, but like, I have no idea. If that kid lived in Tucson, he could have easily been petitioned to an emergency evaluation from a mental health professional. And I don't know if other states are like this. If Echo was having a mental crisis and he was talking about suicide and he had wrote some things that were troubling to me, as a citizen, I could fill out a petition for him to go to emergency treatment. And to be honest, if a judge grants it and there's a petition for him and he's not a danger to himself and others, and law enforcement contact him, and they determine, or they get the mental health team out to talk to him, and they determine that he's in a crisis, police can transport him to the hospital against his will. Then once he get there, he can have a mental health evaluation. And if the evaluators say that he's a danger to himself or others, he will be listed as a person that's a danger to themselves or others, and they cannot own firearms. Not only can they not own them, we will go to their house and retrieve all of their firearms until they can become better mentally stable and approved by the court that they're now mentally stable. Some people keep saying that, do I think that the event was staged? No. I don't know, man. That's really deep in conspiracy theories to think that this is staged, man. Listen, like, this is not bizarre. Like, people are crazy. This doesn't need to be staged. It's only a matter of time before people keep doing this. I'm telling you, y'all, kids have already tried it. I have heard of kids getting arrested on the way to do this. And that don't make the news, but it has happened.
Did you see there was somebody that commented this. Have you seen the numbers that the MSM is giving, the mainstream media is giving?
Yeah, I heard it was bogus.
Like they're saying like 18 school shootings this year or something.
Oh no, I didn't see that. I saw 200.
The mainstream media is saying like, oh, there were 18 school shootings this year, and I saw one said like 20 something or 30 something. When the truth is, all those school shootings include something where a kid like accidentally fired off a policeman's gun, like reached for it and pulled the trigger. Nobody got hurt. He just did it. Another time where a gun accidentally went off in a school. Another where a bullet went into like a dorm room at like a college, but it had nothing to, it was away from the school, and the bullet just passed through the window and nobody got hurt. And there was like, you could look at the list of things that they're including as school shootings. Now, how is it helpful to say that like, oh, here's this epidemic, we need to figure out how to solve this epidemic when it's not one? Like,
yeah, that's the point.
You're
that they're
fear-mongering it.
Yeah, that's the point that someone. I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you finish?
You're good. Yeah.
That's the point that I think that we're trying to make as reasonable, common sense folks. Is like it's the same thing happened with law enforcement just killing black people. The same discussion was had. Like, if we really care about the problem, let's actually talk about when law enforcement are inappropriately using force against people. Don't add in every situation that just happened to be a black person. The same thing with school shootings. When you look at a list, you got to say, okay, what school shootings are we concerned about? Because if a teacher gets crazy, comes into the school and shoots another teacher, that's a different type of school shooting than if a kid goes and mass shoots students for no reason. That is different. If you go on college campus, two people get into a fight over drugs, they shoot each other on campus, that is considered a shooting on a school campus. That's not the same as if a person go and do a mass shooting. There's a difference between a school shooting and a mass shooting. There's a difference between an incident happening on campus than somebody bringing the incident to the campus, if that makes any sense. There was a few things that I've seen even in the news that said it was a school shooting. What happened was it was a shooting on campus. That's all it was. It had nothing to do with somebody trying to be a mass shooter and killing multiple people. It was literally two people having a shootout on campus. Like, let's get to the bottom of what we're trying to prevent. What we're trying to prevent at the end of the day is people who are mentally ill, who are not getting treatment, who are not getting adequate help, so that they don't get from the point of being a normal kid to being a murderer. Also, if you see something, say something. Those are two major components that we are actually trying to fix. Gun control is BS. We are literally trying to fix, because just say if that kid owned all those guns and he had the help that he needed, he would own those guns and never shot anybody. The problem is that he went crazy, and everybody knew he was crazy. Nobody did nothing about it, and his crazy behavior turned into a school shooting. He got expelled the year before from claiming that he was going to shoot people. I don't know if it was shoot people. He was threatening students. I didn't read the reports, so I don't know exactly what he was threatening. But if you get kicked out of school, it's probably something serious. So, I mean, that's pretty much. Keep bringing in the questions. I'll try to. Somebody said it was the baseball shooting with the Republicans a gun-free zone. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, it was when that guy who you remember.
Oh yeah, I remember the shooting, but I don't know if it was a gun-free zone. Was it?
I don't. Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know. I remember.
Doesn't matter. Shouldn't have done it, and that's
we would never know, because it don't matter if it's a gun-free zone. Nobody cares, but us.
Yeah, a sign on a school that says you can't have guns here will not stop a guy who wants to kill people from bringing a gun there.
Father radicalized. I don't know what they mean. I think they say his father was radicalized. I don't know. Where did he get the gun? From our reports that I'm seeing is that he legally bought the gun.
He legally bought it.
He legally bought the gun.
And who knows how long he had? I don't know how long he had it, and that doesn't really matter. So I don't know if he like got it. How old was the kid? The 22.
He was 19.
What?
The kid that killed him was 19. He's 19-year-old.
Really? Cruise?
Yeah. That's what I heard. I saw it on he was 19.
I think there was a. I could. Oh, okay. For some reason I thought 22.
No, I think he's 19. But you can get a rifle at a very young age.
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either way, he can get the gun. That's not the.
Yeah, it's not the point is that anybody. I mean, like for instance, I wish I had the number. Maybe I should look it up, but I guarantee you, there's millions of gun purchases and sales and ammo sales all year long, and 99% of the people who buy guns and ammo would never shoot anybody. Somebody said you got to be 21 to legally buy a gun in Florida. I don't know. I have to look up Florida law. Anywhere you only have to be 18. You have to be 21 to buy a handgun. You can get rifles at 18 years old. But I'm not sure, man. Each state have some different laws. In Arizona, you can be 18 and you 21 to buy a handgun. So which I think is kind of weird, but you can't drink alcohol till you're 21. But you can go to war when you're 18. I don't know where they coming up with these ages at, because I feel like if you can go to war and fight for your country and be trusted to save lives every day, you should be able to drink alcohol. Which one is more brave? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, but the thing is that when you're 18, you're drinking alcohol anyway. It's just against the law.
Yeah.
I've been to college before.
Cares.
I cannot confirm or deny if I drank alcohol when I was 18. But what I can say is that kids in college are getting plastered at 18. It doesn't matter that the law says you can't drink. People are going to drink anyway. The problem is that you should teach your children the effects of drinking when you are. See, somebody said rifle at 18, handgun at 21. That's pretty much what I thought. I think that's more accurate. That may be almost nationwide. I can't see why that law would be any different. But anyway,
it's state decided, I think.
Yeah, but I think that most states probably, I don't want to say they conglomerate. They
probably agree.
Most states pretty much have a standard where it can be equal to a certain degree. I mean, but you could be younger if you have your parents' permission. You can go hunting with. You can't buy the gun, but you can shoot a gun when you're very young if your parents are present. But anyway, that's a question. Was this guy a dreamer?
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Somebody said, was this guy a dreamer? I don't know. I think there's questions of whether or not this guy was a conservative, a white nationalist. Some people have that he voted Democrat, but at the end of the day, actually, nobody cares.
We just ran a story. Conservative Tribune just ran a story a little bit ago, or it should be going out soon. And there are reports confirmed that a group that is supposedly like white nationalist or whatever you want to call them is saying that he was a member of them or he went to their. Yeah,
that's gonna be. That would be interesting to confirm that, because you got people out here saying that he was a registered Democrat.
There's almost no way to. There's no. Well, he could be Democrat and a white nationalist. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that doesn't seem to. That kind of doesn't seem to go together per se. I think. I mean, that's just off of narrative. That doesn't seem to go
based
together.
on what the media tells you. You're right.
Yeah, who knows? Some people say
constantly talk about Republicans being white nationalists, which are not true.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because let me say this. I need to correct that, because narrative says that they don't go together.
Yeah.
History says that they actually do go together. Democrats and white nationalists. Mm-hmm. When I say the Democrats, they are the ones who developed the Ku Klux Klan. They are the ones that had that ideology that they wanted it to be white only. You know what I'm saying? They had the ideology that they were opposed to segregated schools. Or they were opposed to desegregating schools. They were opposed to voter rights for African Americans and civil rights. So really, the Democratic Party were the party of the Ku Klux Klan who wanted, who were closely similar to white nationalists. But anyway, I digress on that one.
And all I'll say is, I see people saying like, "What? I'm confused. This doesn't make sense." What the heck?
Somebody wrote a story.
Yeah. So if you're gonna post comments, let's keep them a little bit smaller than that. That's not helpful for us. The details about him being in a white nationalist group All I'm saying is the only thing that we know is that there's a group claiming that he was part of it. There are people that are denying that. There's people that know him that are saying, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. But there's also people who are saying, yeah, he's in our group. He did this. He did these things. That's all I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that he's definitely a white nationalist. And people are saying it wouldn't make sense. He killed most of the white people. True.
Yeah, somebody
That's why I think
said
it's weird.
Ben Shapiro debunked this story. I don't know. I haven't seen this thing, but the bottom line is that what does it matter? It doesn't matter if he's white supremacist or he could be a cop supporter. What does it matter? The kid was crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, oh, since you're a Democrat, you must have been normal. No, he's crazy. I don't know if he could be. Just because he's registered Democrat don't mean that the Democratic Party is what made him crazy. Just because he was a registered, he could have been a white nationalist. That doesn't mean that he hold the ideology of white nationalists. Does that make sense? Like, just because a person is conservative and voted for Trump and he go do something crazy, don't mean that has anything to do with Trump. That man is crazy independently. And maybe he associate himself with other groups. That don't mean that that's a reflection of these groups. That's all I'm saying. But I don't really know what he is. I don't really care, to be honest. The 17 kids are dead. It doesn't matter what party he belongs to. And I don't even think that, to be honest, I don't think either party would condone anything like this happening. I do not believe that. As crazy as the liberals are today, I don't think that anyone would be taking responsibility and claiming that this kid was a Democrat or a Republican. It really doesn't matter. The kid was crazy. I don't care what side of the aisle he's on. He's crazy. Something was wrong with him. He was killing animals. He got pictures of him with knives, and he got knives in between his fingers like he Wolverine or somebody. This kid talking about, he even said on the YouTube thing that he want to be a professional school killer. Like, he wasn't playing. He was telling y'all what it is. But we didn't believe him.
People are asking I had a question about differences in guns. Like, and this is probably a good discussion to have, like, about what guns are, like, dangerous. Somebody said, please explain the difference between AR-15 and a semi-auto 22 other than strength.
Well, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know a whole bunch about guns, but I think that obviously they have two different functions. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the person is drawing a comparison between like a hunting rifle and an actual AR-15.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
if you're looking at ammo and barrel size or whatever the case may be, there's different ammo that goes in these different guns, right?
He said a 22, which are small. So 22s are really small ammo.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, and I'm not going to get into this because I don't want to look like a fool about certain guns because I don't have a hunting rifle. But what I'm saying is that these guns have different capacities. Regardless, these guns can still kill you no matter what you do. Like an AR-15, because I own one, I know what it can do. You know, you put certain rounds in there, whether it's full metal, the full metal jacket on the tip, hollow tip. You could put that. You can even get like metal penetrating tips on it or whatever. I forget what they call it. But
like armor piercing, you mean?
Yeah, armor piercing.
Like
and it's another type of tip that you can get on there that we couldn't shoot at our fire range. But regardless of what it is, you got different ammo. You got different ammo capacities as far as distance and all the other stuff. I mean, I'm not understanding the question. Like, guns are guns. Like a rifle with a 30-round mag or a hunting rifle that carries, I don't know, a few rounds at a time that you have to chamber and load and reload and all this other stuff. It doesn't matter because guns can kill you. Like a rifle, depending on how you do it. I mean, if you go into a school with one rifle, one mag, it's similar to going into a school with two handguns with one mag. Listen, you got 15, 16 in the clip. You got two guns, do the math. That's over 30 rounds if you got 16 rounds in the clip. So you got the same amount of rounds with two handguns if you would with a rifle. All you got to do, I'm telling you, ban all the rifles, okay? You have a handgun with 4 loaded mags. Have the mag in the mag pouch in the front. You shoot till it's out, reload, shoot till it's out, reload, shoot till it's out. I mean, you still got the capacity of having 30, 40, 50, 60 rounds. And to be honest, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to be any more accurate with a rifle as you are with a handgun. Now, somebody brought up a shotgun. Well, rifles go through walls. Somebody brought up a shotgun. Now, if you go in there with slugs or you go in there with buckshot, I mean, you're going to freaking hurt a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? You can really hurt people. But the bottom line is this. It doesn't matter, because if you crazy, you can knife people to death.
Yeah.
Or they call it stab people to death. Knife people
Any
to death.
gun will kill somebody. So it's like, if somebody wants to kill someone, they can choose any gun they want and kill that person. It doesn't really matter which one you use.
Yeah, somebody's talking about 55 grain and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not even really into a lot of that stuff. What I will say is that I know the capabilities of the gun that I use.
When people start discussing, especially politicians start discussing different types of guns, what should we regulate, what shouldn't we? It's a bunch of crap. Because people talk about hunting rifles are okay, but something like an AR-15 shouldn't be. Which an AR-15, there's hunting rifles that have the same capacity that AR-15s have that you can shoot just as fast. Lever action rifles shoot just as fast as AR-15s with the guy who can shoot it well.
Yeah, I mean, just
People
imagine.
don't get it.
I was on the SWAT team, and I'm just as capable with my handgun as my rifle. Mm-hmm. You know, I like the rifle because it's easier.
Yeah.
But the handgun is just as effective. Close quarters. If a kid goes into the school with a handgun and he just do headshots, I'm talking about walking up on kids and headshotting
That's
them.
all. Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be. See, this is the thing. Like, I don't know, man. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not professing to be an expert at this, but if I went into a school and I was just spraying and I wasn't aiming, I'm not gonna kill that many people. If I was literally aiming for the head, I could probably do about 15, 20, maybe 30 people. If you get headshots, boom, 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 boom. If you lucky enough to get shot in the head with a 223, 5.56, and you live through that, then that's amazing. If you walk through the school and you point blank shoot people in the head, I mean, you're gonna drop way more people than if you just spraying in the hallway, because probably 5 or 6, 7 rounds are missing people, and people are running and scattering. You catching legs. You catch somebody in the back. You may hit somebody in the chest. You don't kill them. Like, just spraying is not going to be that effective as it would be if a person was aiming and shooting people. So it goes the same with a handgun. I mean, you go in there with 2 45s. You hit somebody in the head with a 45. I don't know if they're gonna make it through that. Especially you hit them with a hollow tip. I don't know if they're gonna make it through that. And so you can do the same damage. I mean, if you get a big knife, you get 2 knives, and you go and start stabbing people in the neck, like, you're gonna kill. Okay, you may not kill 17, but you kill 15. You may not kill 15, but you kill 10. Like, you still killing people. The bottom line is that we want to stop people from getting to that point. Mm-hmm. We want to stop people from getting to the point where they think they need to use a knife.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
I think even if you want to say, even if people could agree, which they can't, that, like, let's just think in an imaginary world that people could agree, if we could just get rid of all guns, it would fix the problem of guns. Okay, let's say if that happened. Then what? These people who are going crazy and want to kill people will find other ways to kill people. I would say that's an inevitable fact. Yeah. So if we can step previous to those problems of what do they use to kill the person, because if the issue is that they're getting to this point, like Brandon said, where they want to kill them. Like, something is happening leading up to the point where he pulls that trigger. I think you said this the other day. Like, mental illness doesn't happen in a day. You don't go crazy in a day. You don't lose your heart in a day. Like, this takes time. Something happens. We have a lot of issues leading up to the point when that person pulls that trigger and blows a bullet through that person. I mean, that takes a lot, like, to do that. And so there has to be a lot that has to happen before that. So there's a lot of issues that we're not talking about. All we're saying is guns, guns, guns. From the left, we're saying we need to get rid of guns and do this to guns. And Republicans are saying, no, that's all right. Like, that's not even, we should stop. Like, we have so many other issues that are contributing to this.
And somebody made it. There's 3 or 4 points that came up in the comment section. You are completely right, Echo. I agree with you 100%. There's some comments that came up. People said that Europe is completely gun free. They use knives and acid. I mean, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Back in the Bible days, how did they kill people with no guns? They find ways to kill you, fool. They stone you to death. You take a
They hung
rock.
people on wood.
Huh?
They hung people on trees like Jesus.
You get a rock. If you take a rock this big and you walk up and you boom hit somebody in the head, you probably gonna kill them or give them serious brain damage. Yeah. If you took a hammer and you put nails on it, you took a hammer, I mean not a hammer, but a bat, and you put rusty, nasty nails on it, put some type of infected, just say you put antifreeze on it, and you went around and start bashing people in the head with hammer with nails in it, like you probably gonna kill a few people. And another person made a good point. The difference between rifles and handguns is handguns can be easily concealed. You walk to school with a rifle, people are gonna see you when you enter the door. You have a rifle. They're gonna start running. They're gonna start screaming. You come in there with concealed handguns, you could be sitting in class like this. This is the thing that people are missing. And I'm not trying to, we need to prevent this, but like, let's be smart for a minute. AR-15, he killed 17 people. Now imagine if he's in a classroom of 25 people. See, thank God these kids aren't smart. These kids aren't really thinking this through. If he was in a class with 17, 20 people, and he planned to do damage in that one classroom, he didn't worry about the rest of school, the one classroom. Go in there with concealed guns and ammo in his backpack. Barricade the door and start shooting people. If there's 15, 20 people in that classroom, he's going to be able to sit in there and shoot every single kid in there and lock himself in the classroom. Nobody's going to be able to get in, and he's going to be able to probably kill everybody in there with the handgun. So y'all, I mean, if you don't have a gun, people will find creative ways to kill people. I mean, come on, people. Like this is the thing that I don't understand. People brought up Europe. Like, people should never die. Well, no, people, they just run you over in the car. I mean, I don't understand. They just run you over in the car.
There was an epidemic of people running around in London. They would take cups full of acid, and splash them in their faces.
Yeah,
that was terrorism. People would get burned, and some people would die.
Listen, if you can mass produce acid enough to get a barrel full, or if you put acid, I mean, you have to probably find a container that'll shoot the acid out.
You can make it, dude. There's ways to make it and buy it. Like,
people can make an acid gun. Just put acid in it and have a way to spray acid on people's faces, and then they go around and shoot people. Just imagine somebody dump acid on people in school. Like, you're gonna kill a few people, and what are they gonna do? Take them to jail? Well, you see, this is the thing that y'all not understanding. Like, one person with a gun. Oh my God, we stop guns. What if people start teaming up? Like, what if you get 5 and 6 students? Like, this happened in Tucson. I think there was like 5 students that drew out a plan to mass kill at a high school. Thank God somebody told on them. The police investigated them and found out. We found their plans. We found some of their equipment, and we were able to thwart this mass killing at a school. Thank God somebody told on them, because they were running their mouth about it. It was like 5 students that was in on it. Like, imagine if it was 5 kids with handguns. Like, they could probably kill 30, 40 people in there. Now, imagine if teachers and staff members had guns and had training. As soon as little Billy come in there and start spraying, you better hope you hit the teacher that got the gun, or you're going to be dead, and you don't know where it's coming from. But anyway, we can go on and on about that. Somebody said bombs. How many people did Timothy McVeigh kill? Oh, okay. It was one of the biggest domestic terrorist attacks in history. Oklahoma City bombing. Killed I don't know how many people. I mean, 9/11. I know that's extreme, but like, I don't think nobody used a gun. Flew a freaking plane into the building, killed thousands of people. I mean, it's many ways that you can hurt people. Like, you lock people in a room and you set a fire. People are gonna die from smoke inhalation and burn alive. I mean, it's a lot of ways that you can kill a lot of different people. The thing is that guns are an easier way to do it. If we stop guns, people are going to find other ways. People are going to be creative. The problem is we need to stop mental illness, because I want my guns. Don't come take my mags. So when this little Looney Tune try to come to me with it, I can defend myself. This is one thing I never understand. I have somebody I know, I'm not going to say any names, that they're totally against owning a gun. Totally against. I don't want to own it. I don't want nothing to do with a gun. Why do I need a gun? And I'm like, what planet do you live on? If I cracked up right now in your house, what you gonna do? You can't physically beat me. I could beat you to death in here. And I could probably take you and him. I could take both of y'all probably one by one. Now, if you had a gun, I won't be able to make it too far in that house. And the police ain't gonna be able to show up fast enough. I think we living in a world where we think police are like, I don't know, like they're gods or something. Like they just appear in your house. No, they may be on a fatal accident in 10, 15 minutes from your house. They got to drive all the way to your house first. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna open up for questions again because we got the questions still on the board. For the last 8 minutes, ask whatever you want. It don't even have to be about the topic. Just ask questions and we'll go with it. Let's see what y'all got. I'm saying ask me anything, I'll answer it. I think. I hope so.
Don't say that.
If it's illegal, I ain't gonna say nothing about it. I will not comment.
It's illegal.
Let's see. Man, I have guns. I've told my son about guns. Yeah, somebody said, why does it have to be a restraint? I'm trying to find the questions in here. I should have told y'all to put some emojis in there because
yeah, we can't see. We can't
I'm
tell
seeing
the
statements and questions the same. I guess we're not gonna be able to have everybody asking questions. So
are aliens real? LOL.
Yes, they're real. LOL. No.
You think so?
No.
Oh, I was like, what?
I'm just being rhetorical. Like they, let's see.
I think there might be, but that's all I think.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, we should educate people about guns. We should educate people about gun safety. Yeah, those things are. I think we should continue, but banning guns is just not right. Brandon Tatum for president. I agree. Adam B. I agree. Thank you. You better vote for me if I run. All y'all say y'all love me. Won't even gonna vote for Hillary Jr. or somebody. No, I'm just playing. Let's see. Did I think it start with taking church out of school? I honestly do, man. Like people like forget, sometimes as Christian, we forget that there's a spirit realm. Like the reason you pray is for things to happen in the spirit realm, and God can allow some of those things to manifest on earth. Like you are praying to a spirit being. You're not praying to a carnal person. You're praying to a spiritual being that can handle things in the spirit. Devils and stuff operate in the spirit. And I think that when you take that out of school, the whole consciousness, faith, and spirit behind the school's functionality is dissolved. And I think evilness find an easy way to enter into a place where God is not even being presented. And I'm not saying just the prayer in school is the problem. It's because God has not only left the school, it's left the hearts of the people in the school. Nobody have conviction anymore. I'm telling you what is crazy as I was living in college at times. When it was time to go to church, man, I wouldn't cuss. I would be on my best behavior. When people would pray, I would be on my best behavior. And it's because people have that natural affection and love for God that you respect them enough that you begin to think differently. But when y'all act like, oh, God don't exist, man, it's just the idea and the feeling and the prayers and the spirit behind what prayer means is being dissolved. And I think it can have a negative effect. Highly desensitized nowadays. I think we are highly desensitized. Now, video games, man, video games are graphic. You can look at people get beheaded on the internet right now. You can go to sites and see people get murdered, being killed. It's the movies are so graphic. Like it's almost like real life. Like people Call of Duty and stuff, it look like real life to some people. Minus the smells and the gunpowder smell and flesh and all this other stuff that go along with when you really shoot and kill somebody. Other than that, you experiencing probably almost an identical experience. How much do you bench? The most I can't bench nothing now, but the most I've ever benched was 395. I almost did 400. And if my friend is watching, I was the strongest DB. He was a cornerback. And He weighed 170 pounds and he benched 405. I'll never get over that. I really want him to get tested for steroids. But let's see.
Somebody asked simple questions. When were you born? Each of us.
When was I born?
Yeah. So how old are you, I guess?
I'm 30 years old. I was born in 87.
And I'm 23, born in 94.
He's a baby.
I'm
No,
a
I'm just
baby.
playing.
And
We
then
both a baby.
Somebody else asked about the show. What were you going to say?
No, if it say you're a toddler and I'm a baby. So like older people. Go ahead.
And then somebody else asked, what's the life expectancy of this show?
I don't know. It's gonna go on as long as you guys want to watch it. I
Yeah.
think that if you guys continue to watch it and support the show, we obviously have a Patreon.
Part of that's up to you. We have a Patreon.
We have a Patreon for the
patreon.com.
show that helps us support the show. If you buy apparel like this mug, you buy Reagan, this cup, or this shirt I have on, this sweater, when you guys support us through this or this hat, as you guys support us, it just helps the show continue to go on. But Patreon is a big thing. Like some people, maybe they don't want to donate on this, but you can be a monthly giver on Patreon. I mean, some people just give $1. Something is better than zero, and that will incentivize us to continue the show. At some point, if people stop watching the show and it becomes irrelevant and there's no support, then we probably have to move on to something else. But as long as we're helping people and we're showing that this show is making an impact, and then we also have funding for the show, I mean, it will continue. That's my opinion. I mean, I don't know. This whole place can burn down tomorrow and we probably not going to have a show. You know what I'm saying? Facebook shut down for some reason. We probably not going to have a show. So I can't make any promises. But I'm saying our intent is to do exactly what I said. Somebody say armed teachers or whatever. I mean, I don't know. B. Tatum, I was filled with the Holy Ghost in 2/11/87. So you were filled with the Holy Ghost 30 years ago. I was filled with the Holy Ghost in 2008, so I guess that's 10 years ago. That's funny. Let's see. I don't know, man. To be honest, guys, I don't mean to be insensitive to your questions about the conspiracy aspect of this, but
That's no.
I'm not really feeling that. Like, I know that we want to believe that, but like, if you were a police officer, to be honest, if you have ever served in any capacity where you're exposed to the chaos in this world, like, people don't need to stage a shooting. Like, people are, we if anything, we are often preventing shootings. Like, this would be going on a lot more if police weren't actively monitoring social media and doing stuff like that, and people weren't actually snitching on other students who were acting a fool. If it was not for that, there would be way more school shootings. So it doesn't need to be staged. I mean, if anything, they didn't do enough to prevent it, would be, the conspiracy. How do you make people understand your point of view? I think when anything you do, you have to be genuine about it, authentic about it, educated on the subject. And most of the times you got to do it with love. I'm not saying sometimes you got to hit people hard with the truth. But a lot of times you win people with love and compassion. But I'm not saying sometimes you got to know who you're talking to. Some people, man, you got to hit them with the heavy hand. And some people, love can really attract them. Like me, I'm a heavy hand person. Don't come to me being passive aggressive about the truth. Hit me over the head. Boom. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get in my feelings. But after a while, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I can't not. You're right. That's because I'm a bullheaded person. I'm stubborn sometimes, and you could tell me the truth all you want, and if you're not saying it with conviction, and you're not heavy hitting with it, I may be more apt to argue with you before I can receive it. So it just depends on who you talk to. Please show your shirt and hat so I see the message. Oh, okay. This is the hat. I don't feel like taking off my hair. All right. This is the hat. Come and take it. The shirt. Peace through strength. That's what it says. What's that on my head?
What the heck is it?
Oh, it's some lint. I thought it was a bug.
Well, and all that stuff's on patriotdepot.com. There's a link in the description and in the comments. If you want to go, you can check it out.
All right. Do a tour speaking in public schools. I'm working on it. All right. Let's see. We're going to get out of here. Time is up. Thank you guys for today. Today was a little different. Try to ask questions Maybe one day we'll figure out how to get these questions answered. Maybe we could do some on Patreon where we can have a session where people who are patrons can actually ask questions, get their questions answered. But who knows? That's probably far down the list on the things that are important at this point. All right, I'm going to say a quick prayer and we're going to get out of here. If you're prepared to pray, join me in prayer. Thank you, Lord, for blessing us, for waking us up to another day, for giving us this day and giving us opportunities to live in a free society, giving us an opportunity to receive knowledge and be able to display knowledge on a platform such as Facebook and other platforms that exist in this world. God, thank you for giving us that ability to communicate. We understand that that's not prevalent all around the world, and we are privileged to have the ability to dialogue. God, I pray that we be more effective in our dialogue and be more effective in what we use as far as our utilization of social media to not only be an example for you, but also to be an example for the carnal things of this country that this country is dealing with, so that we can have the aspect and be able to deal with challenges on both sides. God, I pray for all of the politicians, the President of the United States, President Donald Trump. I pray that you give him wisdom, you give him courage, you give him strength, give him supernatural ideas that can make this country better, because we all know that when our leadership prospers and when our leadership is doing the right thing, it can also be matriculated down to the general population and our well-being. God, I pray for all of the leaders in our country that you give them poise, give them a proper mentality. I pray for all the people who are watching this show, God, give them grace, give them the ability to be open-minded, the ability to express their thoughts and opinions with love. Let's be more loving and less, tumultuous in our disagreements. Lord, I want to say thank you for the show. Thank you for all that you do. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching. See you next time, and hold the phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.